94.3 Radio 1 हर दिन हर गाना बजेगा सिर्फ एक बार 13 अलग गाने every hour and MJ Prithvi honks jams irritation frustration stress and finally breakdown. This is what is happening in Bangalore city. So join us on commuteeasy.com. Register right now www.commuteeasy.com and here is it.
It's 6 a.m. Lavanya Keshavamurthy, an IT professional, has left home an hour earlier than usual. She's on her way to a monthly meeting with a group of bicyclists. This group of techie bicyclists are all IT professionals working in different companies within Bangalore's electronic city.
We get together on a Friday, first Friday or the last Friday of the month. We cycle together. The group commute actually gives us a lot of strength, and there are so many newbies and they find it more safe and comfortable to ride together, and from next time onwards they start riding independently.
Given that India is the largest manufacturer of bicycles in the world, it is ironic that groups like the Friday Techie Cyclists are rare in urban India. These unusual groups are increasingly important in a city where 1,300 private vehicles are registered every day, increasing the burden on road space and resulting in more pollution.
Urban areas account for almost 80% of the fossil fuel related CO2 emissions. In India, transportation accounts for about 10 to 11% of the total CO2 emissions. But I would say the bulk of the emissions come from urban passenger transport.
To make space for automobiles, Bangalore's trees are being sacrificed. An estimated 30,000 trees will be chopped down to create 350 kilometers of wider roads. However, since the city's traffic doubles every 5 years, roads that seem wide today will be just as congested 5 years down the line, creating a situation where more roads have to be widened and more trees chopped.
Trees in urban context, especially street trees, have a very important role to play. They can really sequester carbon, cut down air pollution, reduce temperature. So we did a study where we looked at areas of Bangalore, a street with trees and the same street another stretch without trees, and we found in the monsoon season, when temperatures are anyway low in Bangalore, that we found as much as a 5-degree difference during the afternoon between a stretch with trees and a stretch without trees. And it's also near streets is where you have most of your buildings and urban heat islands.
When trees are replaced by concrete and asphalt roads, urban heat islands are created. These areas absorb heat during the day and radiate heat at night, thus becoming significantly warmer than the surrounding areas and warming up city spaces and changing the microclimate within that area. It was precisely out of environment concerns that Mayank Rumta, a software engineer, refused to buy a car, using his bicycle instead. But in traffic conditions that are chaotic, is there space and, more importantly, safety for the Indian cyclists?
If you ride sensibly and follow the traffic rules, cycling is actually quite safe. I haven't had an accident in 8 years of riding in Bangalore. With a corporate job, usually people expect you to have a car, four-wheeler, reflect the status. I find my bike very cool, and I know at the end of the day I am actually not having any carbon emissions to my credit, which feels great.
To most people accustomed to the comfort of a private automobile, sustainable or public transport seems like a difficult choice. Dasarathi, the CEO of a private company, made this choice consciously 8 years ago.
You know, you talk about the problems of Bangalore, the first thing that you think of is the traffic. Whether you're a bus user or a pedestrian or a car user, whatever, the traffic is impacting you in some way. The most dangerous, the most invisible thing is the pollution that is actually coming into our own homes, offices, and even in our air-conditioned cars. We think we are immune to all that, but actually we are not. As I rose in my profession, cars got bigger and bigger. The cars that I owned got bigger and bigger. Till there was a point where I said, this doesn't make sense. I mean, I am contributing to the problem. So I said, I need to do something about this. And that's when I also coincidentally started cycling to work. So once I started cycling to work, it was a small switch to actually start using the bus. On days that I wasn't cycling, I started using the bus. I took public transport in the morning, and I'm feeling very happy about it because I reduced my contribution to global warming and to Bangalore warming, and it's a Monday morning and I'm here without any Monday morning blues.
Environmental and traffic congestion notwithstanding, many car owners are unwilling to give up their cars on a daily basis. Vipul Kasera came up with a solution for this group of commuters.
As you can see, the roads are chock-a-block and there's no way you can go beyond 20 in this traffic. Most of these people are the same guys traveling on these same roads at about the same time every day. So if all of these are decided to carpool, they would really cut down the number of cars on road at this time.
Vipul's commitment towards easing both environment and traffic stress led him to develop Commute Easy, an online carpooling network campaigned actively for by Radio 1. With Radio 1's support, Commute Easy now has 13,000 registered users and is India's largest carpooling initiative.
I think it was the guilt that I was using so much of fuel that really pushed me to look for a carpool. And we have been carpooling for 2 years now, and it's a lot of fun.
Dasarathi's dedication to sustainable transport issues led him to set aside one working day every week to generate awareness on our transport usage. His presentation is available online, and he also speaks to corporate audiences, illustrating the benefits of using public bus services or commuting by bicycle to work. He often makes the point that if more people stopped driving their personal vehicles and started taking the bus or public transport, the roads would be less congested and our carbon footprint too would reduce greatly.
For cyclists, for pedestrians, for bus users, there are problems using those, but unless we use these systems, those problems are not going to go away. So we've got to use them. Every one of us can make a very big difference.
As a volunteer with Rider Cycle Foundation or RACF, Mayank too does everything he can to take the message of cycling to others, from corporate workshops to even helping others purchase their vehicles.
Coming to workshops, we have done 13 since we started last year with Symbiosis. 7 for this year already done.
There have been, I would say, a surge in Bangalore of cyclists who commute to work daily. I used to take around 90 minutes to go to my office in a car, let's say, and when I started cycling, it took just 55 minutes. And I think this is the main reason why people are taking up cycling in Bangalore, so that they can navigate through the Bangalore's strict traffic and get to their offices faster. And obviously it has other effects in terms of health, and obviously you are reducing your carbon footprint overall.
The movement for sustainable transport in Bangalore has grown from individual to community to government efforts as well.
The state government has adopted 4th of every month as the bus day. This is basically to promote public transport and to make people sensitize that at least for a day, leave your vehicle and travel by bus and travel with everybody. And in fact, my minister is very keen to have a cycle day also, in which he says that all of us should travel on cycles on a particular day. What is heartening is that all these things is cumulatively having an impact on sustainable transport. This is only a very, very small beginning because we cannot make out a big change right at the first step.
It's clear that burning of fossil fuel is the chief cause of climate change. The carbon emissions form the biggest climate pollutant. Clearly, public opinion is going to make a huge difference to how fast the Indian government moves on climate change. And for that, we do need inspiring stories. We do need people actually making change happen in their own lives. Because what we need is a kind of change that we've never imagined society to make.
It's interesting because I was like totally inspired by Mayank, and one of my teammates, after seeing my commute to work every day, he decided to buy a bike and cycle to work every day.
Das, and he's been cycling for the last 10 years, I think. It got me thinking, you know.
Shashank inspired me to start cycling because it takes me about 45 minutes to reach work by car and takes me about 22 minutes by bike. So, and there's a saving on the petrol too. Yeah, I use this only twice a week now.
For these individuals, sustainable transport is not just about saving money. It's also about reducing our carbon emissions. It's about the battle against climate change. It's about safeguarding the future of our planet.